giant mess.
You look fabulous. Nice to have
Oh,
you here,
it's
Rebecca.
that hair from yesterday.
It's okay.
Okay.
So we're going to have a conversation. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do it. Let's
All
do it.
right. So let
Okay.
us know what medication you're on, how long you've been on it, and how much you've lost or whatever, and we'll go from there.
I switched from Sema and I'm taking Chers now.
Awesome. What's your
Low
dosing?
dose. Low dose. 2.4. 2.4.
Okay, nice. So how long were you on Sema?
Up until, gosh, what was it? Like a couple of months ago, probably. Yeah.
How long
Earlier
were
this year.
how long were you on Sema for?
Since the end of December of 2024. That's what I started with.
Nice. And how far did you get on Sema on the dosing there?
I got up to like I think 2 milligrams of it, something like
Okay.
that. Yeah.
And then tell us why we switched.
I believed I thought I recognized your voice. I believed all of the hype, so everybody don't believe what you hear because I had heard everybody in the community say that, oh, if you like Sema, you'll love Church, you'll love it. And I don't love it.
So tell us what you don't like about it.
I have a lot more. I get a lot of nausea from the TERS that I did not get. I didn't have any kind of issues whatsoever with the
Interesting, isn't it,
Sema.
guys?
I
It's
know it
interesting.
is.
And
It's
I think it's
crazy.
so needed to talk about
Yeah.
because a lot of times people do feel like they have this FOMO of like, I'm not on the best one, or they think it's the best one and they have to switch. When not just only
Yeah.
Rebecca, but many people do really great on Sema and not great on TERS. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to be
So
going back to Sema probably once you're done with your medication,
once
right?
I'm done with my bulk purchase that I have, yeah, I will probably. I mean, it's doable. So I want to say that for people who think, oh my goodness, I'm starting this medication. I'm going to have nausea. I'm going to have this. I'm going to have that. It's fine. I just drink my water. It's fine. I sip constantly throughout the day. So yeah, big deal. Bad side effect. I have,
Yeah.
I'm way more hydrated. It's fine. It's
So
fine. It's all doable.
yeah. So tell the people why you started taking this medication in the first place.
Yeah, it was not for any kind of WL for me. It was, I suffered for years and years with, just because I think of the diet culture, whatever we want to say, whatever
Mhm.
we could say. But I suffered from an ED for years. And so for me, I had so much food noise. And when I'm saying that, I mean that I had like issues with I had to calculate in my brain that okay, if I'm going to eat this, then I have to do this to compensate. And if I couldn't do this to compensate for this,
Right.
then I would say I'm not eating this. I'm not doing it
Right.
because I can't make it match out in my head.
Right.
It's not going to match out, you know,
Yeah.
calories in, calories out, however we want to say that, whatever. It's not going to match out. And so that got to be a very big issue. And when anything stressful would happen, I would be like, all right, this is what I can control. I can control my consumption. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to be very controlling over that. And I had a lot of things through life that were like that caused me to have issues like that.
Yeah.
So that's when I started was I had taken care of my dad for 2.5 years. Then we lost him, and then the Rona hit, and all of that kind of stuff. So then, yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm just surviving. I am just surviving, and I'm
Right.
not thriving in any way.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I think it's important because I don't know why it is, but a lot of times people feel like if they're using this medication for this particular situation that they don't feel like it's validating. They don't feel like it's like worth talking about. They don't feel like they belong, and they do because again, we realize that this medication is helping so many things just besides the weight, right?
Right, right.
So if you want to go back a little bit, you can tell us as much as you want or not, but go back to the
Okay.
first minutes that you remember, the first moments you remember as a young person. I don't know how young or whatever, that you felt like there was issues when it came to food.
Oh yeah. my mom was always like that. She was very because her mother was like that, and she would say that oh and my grandmother was very, because I'm 5'9", so my grandma was 5'8", very tall, very statuesque, very small, very
Mhm.
slender person, but she would freak out. Like, she would be the constant person on the thing on the floor. She was like that, and um, she was very controlled with that, and everything would stop if it went up 2 or 3 pounds. Everything stopped.
And you're talking about your grandmother, correct?
My grandmother
So
was like
you
that. And
saw
so my
this.
mom thought that's what you do. My mom was like, oh, that's what you do. And so then that's what she would say to me. She'd be like, that's what women do. Women do that. Everything stops until it gets back down to that magic number.
Hmm.
That's what you have to do in order to be, because your grandmother was gorgeous. And she was. My grandma was gorgeous. But my grandma was not like that. She was not like that with her children. But that's what my mom took in
Well,
was,
and your poor
this is
mother
what you
grew up with
do.
that because that's what your mother grew up with, and her dealing with
That
that
is,
her
yeah.
whole entire life.
Yeah.
And she
And
probably
it was,
hated it
yeah.
too, but
I'm
she
sure
couldn't
she
help
did.
herself.
I'm sure she did, but it was funny that because, and maybe it was a grandparent thing. It might have been a grandparent thing that way that,
Hmm.
because my grandmother, I never noticed her being like that. Cause I mean, she was like, oh, you're just adorable. You're, the
Hmm.
cutest thing in the world, whatever. And she was like that. And my siblings, I'm the youngest, and they were all heavy. And so, but she loved all of us equally. She didn't care, so
Right.
yeah.
So for you as a small child, when did that start? How old were you when you kind of understood that this was a thing?
I was probably, that was kind of like the big deal in my house. Cause I mean, I'm the youngest, but I was like a late in life child. So I had two older teenage sisters. And so my mom had ingrained into them that, this is what you have to do. You have to, be, I mean, I don't think maybe she did, maybe she didn't. I've always felt it more with me because they weren't home that much. But, I always remember like them as kids, like they would be like doing aerobics or whatever when I was like really, really little, 3 and 4 years old. I remember them doing that. And my mom would say, go join your sisters, go join them, go
Mm.
do that with them. And it was fun. It was just fun to do all of these things. It was fun to kind of jump around and do whatever. And so that just was always the thing that,
Yeah.
it wasn't like go out and ride your bike. I mean, we did that. We lived in the country. So, go get on the horse, go ride your bike, go do whatever. So we did that too. But I mean, it was always intentional exercise
Right. Right.
was important. Intentionally using your muscles, not just going and playing.
Right.
So yeah, that made it very different. But yeah, no, my mom was the person who tried everything: cabbage soup, Weight Watcher, whatever. She did everything, and so she was like, "This is what we're all doing this. We're all doing this. Too bad that I'm cooking and we're all doing this, so we're all watching everything that goes into our mouths."
Yeah. So how did that affect you early on? Like, obviously didn't help you go, yeah, you know what? This feels good. It kind of had a little resentment, do you think, about it?
It did. Yeah, it did. I mean, because yeah, it was one of those kind of things that, yeah, it was like, okay, this is what you have to do. And, I have a brother too who's just older than me. I mean, he's like about 8, 9 years older than me, but
Mhm.
she was easier on him because it was like, oh, boys can look however, and the
Yeah.
girls still like them, but boys won't like you if you're not a certain way, if you don't
Mhm.
look a certain way, if you're not a certain way.
So what
So
would she say to you? Because verbal, those verbal words can hit hard. So what were some of the things that you remember, if you want to talk about, you don't have to, but
oh
like
yeah, no, I don't mind.
certain words that she
Um,
would say?
like I remember, and this was me, like I said, I'm 5'9" and a little bit, so I'm tall anyways. And wearing my size 6 jeans, whatever, and she would say at the age of 17, I would come back from hanging out with my friends and I would tell her, she would say, "Oh, how did it go while you were out? What did you guys do? What happened? Whatever." And she'd go, and I would be, right, you're a teenager, you played all day, you hung out with your friends, food might have been the last thing you did. And I would come back and I'd be like, "Oh, there was leftovers, whatever, there's something to eat, whatever, leftover dinner." And I would like get myself a little bit and she'd go, "Do you really think you need to eat that? You could just not because it's awfully late and just go to bed and you probably would feel better in the morning. Just not doing that." And so that, and for the way she did it was like, this is a helpful hint. This is like, it's not like her being mean. It was like, this is a helpful hint for you. Don't eat.
So what does that make you feel like?
I was like, you know what? I always thought, wow, okay, she's thinking of me. She cares about me. I didn't realize that until years later that I was like, wow. So parents aren't like that. Parents are supposed to just say, you're beautiful, you're wonderful, you're smart. They're supposed to just do that. They're not supposed to say,
yeah. And I think that's
"Oh,
interesting.
what you should do? You should do this."
I think that's so interesting with you, because it's something that I wouldn't think I would feel. It just shows you how almost manipulative it is. Maybe not in her intention, but how you thought, you know what, this is being said out of love, right? It's almost like I'm not comparing to an abusive relationship, but you know what I mean, right? Where it's like you feel like, oh, you're being taken care of, and in reality, it's like not the case. But in your mind, which I think is interesting, and like what Tina's saying in the chat, and everyone's not probably thinking what you're thinking, because I would have been resentful. I would have been like, oh God, food is bad or whatever. But in your mind, you're like, you know what, mom's taking care of me. You're right, Mom.
And I did, because I did. I thought that. I always thought that. And I would go over to, I think I've told everybody this before in the other lives that we do in the afternoon, but that I would go over to my friend's house who was the same age as me. And she was the youngest, we had very similar circumstances. She had older siblings that were my sister's friends and whatever. And I would go over there and I would see their mother being like, "You guys are wonderful, beautiful, smart. You can do anything." And I mean, all four of those girls were a little bit, heavier. And they
were
were
like, she should be telling them the truth.
I know. And I, mean teenage girl I never said that because I adored my friend to death. And that was not what I ever saw looking at her. She was just so much fun. But I always thought that. I always thought, oh my goodness, their mother doesn't love them like mine loves me because she wants me to present this face to the world and this body to the world that is as perfect as it can be. And of course, I've never been perfect ever, but yeah. And so that's what I always thought. And like I said, until I got older, and then I was like, wow, look what she did. Wow. I have so many scars from that. I mean, she did the best she could. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and, she's been gone for 13 years.
Right.
So, I'm not going to sit there and be like that because we're imperfect people.
Yeah.
We do what we do and we can't help it.
Right.
But yeah, I realize now it's like, wow, I'm dealing with a lot of the scars from that, so to speak. So.
Curious. How's your friends? How are they doing life?
You know what? They are happy. Yeah, right. They were I know my friend like that. She's still exactly who she was, and in a larger body. Last time I talked to her, she is on the TERS herself. Nice. And her and I were talking about it a little bit. But yeah, she's always had, because I used to say that to my mom. I'd say, I want her confidence. She's in a bigger body than me, but I want her confidence so bad because she was like, whatever, check me out all the time. And I was like, please don't look at me. Please don't notice me. Please, and if you do, don't make fun of me, please. And,
interesting. So interesting.
I know. Yeah. So yeah, whatever it is that my mom wanted to do, it backfired. It didn't work because I know she probably wanted this, tall, confident girl to be raised that was, take no prisoners, but it was like, that didn't work for me. That was
Right.
not me. I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to be good enough. I'm always going to have
Yeah.
something I need to work on. Because I mean, she didn't just do that with the WL either. She would say, like, she would say, you should wear your hair up because your face is so long. Your face is so long. You should wear your hair up. You need lipstick on because your face is so pale. Your skin is so pale.
Hmm.
And you shouldn't smile really big because all you do is show all your teeth and whatever, and your eyes shut when you smile like that. So it just doesn't look good.
Hmm.
And so that's why when I'm on all the time, I'm always like very careful with everything because it's still, I'm like, ooh, I notice everything and I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I like this. I don't know if I,
Yeah.
so it's,
I'm
it is,
sorry. It's hard. It's rough, and it does affect us for
yeah,
life. It really truly does. I mean,
it
we can
does.
work on it. We work on it. Um,
Yeah.
but I get it. And of course, we can say this till we're blue in the face that you're beautiful and amazing, and you know this, but you
Thank
are.
you.
Um, so wow. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like it's hard and it's frustrating, but we do see how it trickles down. Like my
Oh, yeah.
mother's similar. Like I get frustrated with her, but I'm also seeing how she grew up and how she is the way she is. I mean, imagine you having kids, Rebecca.
Yeah.
You would be similar, kind of, probably somewhat.
That's why I never really thought about that because I thought I am so screwed up. I am so screwed up. I don't know. And then I always thought about that too when I was younger, and I always thought, oh, if I had kids, I don't know if I could deal with the scale going up and down like that because of being pregnant, whatever. And I thought that would absolutely hurt me so badly. And I knew that about myself. I knew that I don't know if I could ever do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could ever be like, this is okay. This is okay. Because yeah, it's
Right.
never been okay. It's never been
Yeah.
okay.
It's so interesting too. Like we understand, like we'll say goofy things about ourselves, but we know better, right? And so did your mom, I bet you, $1,000,000. And it's hard. Like sometimes it's like an out of body experience where we're saying something to our loved ones and we're like not being the kindest or whatever. And we are like in our brain, like, get it together. I know this isn't right, but we just still do it. And I
Yeah.
know that's how your mom, I'm sure, felt like saying the things, triggering to her because her mother said this to her. And yet she just just couldn't help herself. You know?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, just,
Oh yeah.
I give a little grace with that because I'll do the same thing with whoever. And I'm like, why was I such a schmuck? Get over
Yeah.
it. But yeah, I just
Yeah.
couldn't do it, right? But still doesn't take that away from now the consequences that we have with.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I know, and yeah. I mean, they tried. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna, blame her for everything because at a certain point, we do make our own decisions too. So, I didn't figure things out until probably, for, like I said, a few years ago when I was like, I have to do something. I'm existing at this point.
Mhm.
And yeah, and it took me, finding out because I had kind of researched GLP-1 and I was like, oh, okay. Because I had taken other things and they didn't work. There was
Mhm.
other things that
What
didn't
did you
work
do?
for you know what? I don't even remember what they were because I would like try things and it was like, yeah, this isn't, because they would say, like, I went to a therapist and they were like, oh, just tap yourself here and do this and tell yourself, just, get over it, get over the ED, get over it. And I was like, yeah, that's stupid and it's not working. That's not working. That's not helping. And so then, the medication that I was given it was like, yeah, this isn't doing anything either. This
Yeah.
isn't working. So then, but as GLP-1 came out and I was reading about that and, researching and hearing things about it, I was like, oh, I'm going to ask the doctor about this. And of course, initially, because I think I told you this a long time ago, but initially the doctor had told me, she was like, the first one I saw, she goes, well, I think any kind of ED is your own issue and it's a mental issue and you're not trying hard enough to not be that way. So I don't think you could do it. I don't think, I don't think this would be ever
Who
helping
in
you.
their right mind would say something like that
I
as a
know. And so I was
professional?
like, okay, bye. Not going to see you anymore. I'm done with this. And so then I went to someone else and I was like, okay, I'm just curious. Could I have this for what I have that will help regulate things for me? And because that's what it's good for too. It's good for people with different kinds of issues, smoking, whatever. They're looking at it for all these other things. Could I take it low dose for that? And, and she was like, yeah, I don't know if your insurance will pay it because she goes, you don't have high blood pressure. You don't have a high BMI. You don't have all these things. So I don't know if you can actually. And she goes, call your insurance company. And I did. And I was like, so what do I have to? And they were like, oh, no, you have to have at least two things wrong with you. And you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, all right, well, forget it. And I kind of let it go for a little bit. And then I was like, you know what? You see all the telehealth pop up. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to call one and just ask and say, you know what? Can I just, here's the cash. Can I have it? Please, 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 please.
So curious, what did you say? What was the thing that they said yes to?
I told them my situation and I said, I just had asked about it. I said, I know these things are good for other things and I'm sure I've just like everybody else in the world, I've got inflammation and I probably could lose 20, maybe whatever. I could lose a little bit. I mean, it's fine. I'm not going to be like a skeleton. I mean, it's fine. I could, and whether that's inflammation or whatever. And so they were okay with it. They were like, yeah, okay, sure. I mean, I did. I sent a picture of myself and whatever. And I was like, okay.
How much have you lost? I know it's not about that, but
just about that.
What?
Yeah. About 20-ish.
Oh, awesome. Okay, Rebecca,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
And I think a lot of it was inflammation. A lot of it was inflammation because it all came off right away.
Nice, nice.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that was, and like taking that first jab was crazy because I was like, oh yeah, no, go ahead.
So I want to get into that. So you took Sema, correct? The first thing. Mm-hmm. Now, as we know, Sema does not have the GIP in it, which is what's helpful for these situations. But interestingly enough, this is helping you with that. I think it's a good thing to talk about because if someone were to come to me and I can't steer them either way, I wouldn't probably have recommended Sema for ED versus TERS, right? So Tell your experience when you take Sema for the first time. What did you feel? Let's go there.
I was freaked out. So everybody else in the chat, 75 of you that were freaked out about, oh my God. But you know what? I just did it. My hand shook the entire time with the syringe in my hand. I closed my eyes and went and just did it. I didn't wait until tomorrow, till tonight, whatever. It came. I practically kissed the FedEx guy, grabbed it, opened it, threw out all the garbage, all of the stuff. And I was like, okay. Wash my hands. Let's, get out the alcohol wipes. Let's do this thing right now. Because what do you have to lose? Nothing. Mm-hmm. Nothing. And so
go ahead.
I just did it.
So what did you feel at first? Anything?
Initially, like I said, I was shaking so bad because I thought, oh my God, this is going to hurt. It's a needle. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. And I didn't feel anything. It didn't hurt. It did not hurt. And I was like, okay, probably about like 25 to 30 minutes later, I felt like a calm come over me. And it was like everybody says, like a silence because I had heard food noise. And I didn't know what that meant. And then I realized, what it meant for me. It was like, okay, I'm not obsessing right now over, did I make sure I walked enough steps today? Did I make sure was I at the gym long enough? Did I do this? Did I do that? Oh, I finally was not so focused, so hyper focused on all of that. And I was able to just, oh, okay, I need to eat something. I'm going to.
I love that. And
And
that was on Sema, which is wild, which is
I
lovely.
know. And the only reason I did that because it's cheaper. I'm paying out of pocket, it's cheaper.
I love that. So let's,
Yeah.
when you went to TERS, did that food noise change, or did it stay the same, or did it get better, or what? Anything different with TERS when it comes to that?
No, it was about the same. That was just it.
Okay.
I have roving nausea now, which, I'm drinking my water constantly.
Yeah.
That's it. Otherwise, it's still about the same. So,
Yeah. I love it. I love your story. I think it's so incredibly important to talk about this side of this medication helping the situation like this. I think it's needed.
yeah.
I think it's great. So, what do you like? Is there any part of this moment or this journey, a moment that like you'll never forget, like a pivotal moment, a life-changing moment of any kind?
You know what? Because I was thoroughly, thoroughly confused. So everybody here who's not, who's hanging in the chat, because that's what I did. I hung in the chat. Well, because at first I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about anything. They sent it to me in the mail and they said, here are your jab spots. Let us know if you have any issues with like you're really sick, and then we won't take you up in 4 weeks. Take your dose up in 4 weeks. But otherwise, we're going to climb to whatever. And, we're going to take you up because this is still just the loading dose. So you still need to take more than the 0.25. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And that was it. And I was like, okay. But then you hear all the negative. You hear, you're going to lose all your hair. You're going to have, and like my sister told me that when I was talking to her about it. She's like, oh, here's just another one of these things you're going to do. And your face is going to look weird. And it's just going to be something you obsess over, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Love you. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I had in my head was I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to look weird. I'm going to be really sick. I'm going to be sick. I'm going to have constipation. I'm going to have all of these things, and I'm going to be bald to top it all off.
But you're going to be skinny. You're going to be skinny.
That's right. That's right. Skinny bald.
So
I had to jump on here. I had to jump on here, and my sister, my other sister had a TikTok account. She had been writing me 6 ways to Sunday about, you need to, get a TikTok account and follow me. Get a TikTok account and follow me. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to. I don't care. It's a time suck. I don't have time for this kind of thing. And I don't want to see a bunch of, goofy stuff. A bunch of kids dancing and whatever.
What happened?
I know. Look at us now.
And you blocked your sister.
I did. I had to. That's a whole other story. I had to do that because she was fully, because she had gastric bypass and started regaining. And so she's on Zepbound now, and she will sing the praises of GLP-1. Good. She will sing the praises of GLP-1 full on.
So I love that. I love it.
Yeah. But she's also a blabbermouth, and she will tell my other sister, who says I'm going to look weird and I'm taking poison, and it's just going to be one of those things that I obsess over.
Block them.
And that's what I had to do. I had to block the one because she will blabbermouth to the other. And so I was like, I'm sorry, I have to do this.
That's right. I love you.
And I didn't tell her.
I'm sorry. I've got to let you go. Goodbye. Yes.
Exactly. So, we'll talk on the phone. Yeah.
Yes. So Rebecca, what is something that you're saying yes to now when you might have said no to earlier? What is something in your life that you're saying yes to?
You know what? I have said yes recently to taking full-length pictures of myself. And I bought a full-length mirror, which I never owned, because that was a punishment as a kid. That was something that, my mom would say, look at yourself. Mm-hmm. Look how you look. That doesn't look good. your butt's too big. You're, whatever,
Good for
whatever.
you.
And so it was always a negative. It wasn't, oh, look how cute you look. It was a negative to be in front of the mirror. And so I thought, I'm never going to own one of those because I don't need that. I don't need that as an adult. I don't need somebody to treat me like, I don't need to, be that for myself.
Yeah.
But I bought one. So,
Proud of
and
you.
I stand in front of it and I take pictures. Every week I make myself take a picture of myself. I do, sometimes I share it on here and sometimes I just put it
Good
away
for
because
you,
I still
Rebecca.
don't like it. I still don't like the way I look.
But it's a healing
But
process. Good for you.
it is. It is. So,
So one last question. If someone comes to you and says, I'm nervous, I don't know about these medications, I don't know what to do, I'm not feeling hopeful, whatever, what is an encouraging word that you have for them? What would you tell them?
just to do it. I mean, what do you have to lose? I mean, how happy are you right now? How happy are you right now? That's where I was. I was like, you know what? I could exist and
Mhm.
just exist, or I could thrive.
Thrive.
And yeah,
Absolutely.
and so why not? Why not?
I love it.
Why not just yeah.
Rebecca, before we leave, tell the
Yes.
people what you do here for this community.
Nothing. I do nothing.
Rebecca, tell the people what you do here for the community.
Okay. I I have my very own little mob situation here that no one's allowed to leave. If you follow me and you come into my live, you're mine forever. You're my
What do you,
people forever.
yes. What do you do for this
That's okay.
space? What do you bring to the table, Rebecca? Tell us.
You know what? I enjoy because I got welcomed in. I came on here and I came into your live and you said like you do to everybody, say hi. And I did, and I was nervous and I was uncomfortable, but I met people in the chat like Mandy
Mhm.
and whatever, and I got so comfortable seeing different ones. And then I was forced by three different people. One in particular forced me to share, and it was a group of three that drug me kicking and screaming onto a live. And
And
I
now
didn't want to
now what
because
do
I
you
felt like
do?
a fraud. I felt like a fraud.
But you're
And
not. So
so
now what do you do for the community?
I want everybody to feel welcome because I was treated so well. And I was helped. And so I want everybody to feel what I felt. I
So
want
then what do you
everybody to
do
be
throughout the
welcome.
week? What do you offer then?
You know what? I will, we fire up the live. We have a few laughs. I
Mhm.
ask you your government name. You give it to me. I remember it.
Yes.
That's
So
what
guys,
happened.
everybody follow Rebecca. She is the glue
That's
that
what
keeps us,
happened.
she is the glue that keeps all of us together in our beautiful friendships that we have. She'll go live throughout the day. We'll have people up. She'll have people up and we'll hang out and we'll chat and we get to know each other and just become stronger friends together. So thank you, Rebecca, for this lovely chat.
You're welcome.
I will let you down in the chat.
Okay.
Okay.
Kick me out of here. Kick me
That's
out of
right.
here.
I will.
Do it.
Okay, bye.
Okay.